Welcome back to the channel. This is Small World 3D. My name is Ryan, and today we're going to be reviewing the Sunlu Saiyan, the new and first resin 3D printer from Sunlu. I've been printing with this little guy for about a month or so now, and I'd love to give you my honest review. There's some things I think Sunlu did right, and a couple others I believe can and should be improved in the future. In this video, I'm going to go over things I like, things I dislike, who I believe this printer is for, and whether or not I think this printer is worth its current price tag. Starting off with the build plate, this is actually my least favorite part about the printer. I just believe it's an overcomplicated design by Sunlu. So there are 6 screws, 2 center screws, and 4 corner screws. The 2 center screws adjust how tight that build plate is to that little plastic armature there. The 4 corner screws and their locking nuts adjust the corners and how tight to the build plate it is, and then lets you adjust to level out the bed. Unfortunately, you end up doing this weird dance where you're constantly loosening and tightening the center screws while switching back to the corner screws to try to get that nice tight fit against the build plate. The system's actually pretty easy to navigate to. By hitting Tool, then Manual, you'll get into the leveling menu. On the left hand side you got your 0 out button, your up, your down, and then all your adjustments, 1mm, 0.10mm, and 10mm buttons to move that build plate up and down and as close to the screen as possible. The good news is once you have that build plate locked in, it seems like it stays pretty locked in. So I've printed probably 10 to 20 different prints, and so far I hadn't needed to do any kind of adjustments to the leveling of the build plate. So going over the vat, the one thing that upsets me is that it actually, on further examination, is made of plastic and not metal. It has this lip going around the outside. This doesn't really serve any functional purpose, and I hope in future updates they kind of get rid of it. It's just a place where resin gets stuck. It has 2 locking nuts on either side, and I don't like how neither one of these can actually come out of the vat. When you have to change the FEP on the back side of the vat, it makes it difficult to put it on a level surface. It kind of wobbles as you're trying to take out those Allen screws. The one thing that I really do like about this vat is it does have 4 nublets, each on the corner of the vat, that help you line up the vat with the printer itself. This kind of locks it into place and makes it so it doesn't bump or anything like that. Also, functionally, another thing that it does is now I can set that vat down on the table, and there isn't going to be a piece of resin or anything that's on the table that's going to pop that vat. It's going to keep the FEP right off of that tabletop and keep it from getting ripped from any kind of random scrap or anything like that. And now, finally, the most important part of resin 3D printers, and that's the print quality. The print quality on this printer is absolutely fantastic. You can see from these models the details are nice and sharp, they pop. Everything came out nice and clean, came off the build plate pretty easily, came off the supports pretty easily. I didn't really have too much trouble adjusting it and getting amazing prints off of this printer. Well, there are some things that Sunlu definitely stumbles on in their first attempt at a resin printer. There's some great things that they're doing here. At the end of the day, ease of use and print quality are going to reign supreme on whether or not I would recommend this printer. I think its current price point on Amazon is a little steep, especially comparatively with other major brands, but if this printer were to sell around, I would say around the $200 price point, I would recommend it every day. It gets nice, clean prints. Once you have that build plate locked in, it stays locked in. You don't need to level out that build plate often. And overall, I think it's a sharp-looking printer. But one of the main things I think Sunlu really needs to do is work on its brand identity. They need to ditch that yellow Anycubic yellow acrylic shield, find their own color specific to their brand, kind of like Elegoo has their red, Anycubic has their yellow, etc., etc. And they need something like that so somebody could look across a room, see that color, and instantly know that that's a Sunlu printer. Other than that, I think it's a great printer. I think if it goes around that $200 price point, like I said, go ahead and pick it up. If you like this video, please subscribe. If you didn't like this video, go ahead and hit the dislike button. If you liked it, hit the like button. And happy printing.